Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to another Pokemon Massive video. So today we're going to talk about the Cresselia Legendary, which is dropping tonight, right? And, just go over some of the stuff that it has going on and all that, sort of prepare yourself, all that. So anyways, this info is from Absolute's Pace Spin, right? So a lot of people are saying it's hard, and I'm not saying it's not. It does look like one of the harder legendary arenas we've seen thus far. Although I do see some weaknesses. I don't think it's as hard as people say it is, right? I definitely do see some pretty big weaknesses that we could exploit. But anyways, let's go over it then. So Cresselia Legend Arena, it is week 2. It is weak to dark, right? So there's that, right? So first go the boss's resistances will revert back to base resistance at the start of a new HP bar, and the passives will revert back to base at the start of a new HP bar as well, which is very, very good, because what does that mean? They're, lessen, because like a lot of the times these legendary arena bosses, they have like stuff like lessen burn, lessen sleep, lessen flinch, or whatever, and every time they start out like low, maybe at like 2 or something, then every time they recover from that, they just go back, then go to like lessen, like for example flinch 4, and then 6, and then 8, and then eventually they become unflappable or whatever, right? So reverting back to base is really, really good, because we could just keep on spamming those statuses, right? So let's go over it. So first of all, the first move, double team. It will be double teaming a lot, unfortunately, and there's a lot of passives based off of double team, which makes this really, really annoying. This is easily probably the most annoying move that Cresselia has. Obviously, it raises the evasion by 1, except it has like a bunch of like other passives that makes this double team do like a billion other things, which we'll get to in a second. All right, Calm Mind is Calm Mind. Very special attack, special defense. Whatever, I guess. Cool. Hidden power, don't have to worry about that. It's like 50 power, like no one cares. Slash shouldn't hurt that much either. 50 power move. It does have the crit thing, so that is something to watch out for, right? Hopefully your tank has like vigilance or something. Thunder Wave is bad. Bad news. And Toxic. These are all bad news. Statuses are bad. You don't want to get statused, right? Shadow Ball hits relatively hard. Icy Wind is really annoying because it lowers your speed, plus it's AoE, plus it's relatively hard as well. Energy Balls, whatever, no one cares. Swift AoE, Ice Beam, whatever, and Hyper Beam hits like a truck, obviously. So far, like most of its moves don't really hit that hard, right? Like stuff like Ice Beam, Swift, Energy Ball, like who cares, right? Honestly, like the only like problematic ones are stuff like Shadow Ball, Icy Wind, and maybe Slash if your tank doesn't have like vigilance. If it has vigilance, then no one cares about Slash either. And then the other, obviously, the issues are the status moves, and then the only big like really huge like attack move is like Hyper Beam. And usually, like I'm just not too worried about this. Like usually these big moves come at like their very, very last bar, right? So their last bar might be, a bit tough to fight against, but outside of that, all the other moves kind of don't really do or shouldn't do that much damage, right? Does it even have any psychic type moves, at all? Yeah, a psychic. Well, I guess Calm Mind, but not offensive move, right? So that's kind of weird, I guess. Moving on to the passives. Here's where it gets annoying. Mind's Eye 5 mitigates the reduction of accuracy. That's whatever. Brain Barrier 8 at bar 1 reduces damage when the user is hit by a physical attack move, including for sync moves. Okay, this is incredibly annoying because that's an 80% damage reduction. 80% damage reduction. So, like, just imagine you hitting a move, and then it only deals 20% of what it does to Cresselia, which again, super annoying. Super annoying. So like your 1000 damage move is just gonna deal 200 damage instead. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Then you got Brombear, which is the same, but for special attacks, right? First one for physical attack, and the second one's for special attack, which is kind of weird because why is Brain for physical attack and then Brawn for special attack? Shouldn't it be flipped? Anyways, whatever. Double Trouble, activated after user uses Double Team, sharply raises user's attack. Seeing Double 2, activated after using Double Team, sharply raises user's evasion. So that's +3 evasion on Double Teams. I hate evasion in this game. When I'm facing it, I mean, fine when I use it, not when I face it. Tranquil Fury 2, activated after the user uses Calm Mind, sharply raises user's special attack and special defense. Yeah, so it's like a double Calm Mind. Troublemaker 9, so the opponent's Thunderwave and Toxic basically won't be missing. Go Viral 9, and it's gonna affect your whole team. Ta! Very bad. Stoutheart 1, 3, 5 mitigates reduction of attack. Obviously, it climbs up, I'd assume. Right. Terra Firma 10, no description. I assume this is the one that keeps the field effects or the field effect permanent, right? We don't know what field effect it's gonna have. Maybe like psychic terrain, but then again, it doesn't have any like offensive psychic type moves. Maybe it's just for like the sync move, I guess. The sync move psychic, so maybe it could be psychic terrain. Maybe it could be like some shields or whatever, right? So there's that. Lessen sleep shortens time spent sleep, obviously. Goes from 5 to 8. Lessen flinch 5 to 8. Lessen poison 10. Then you can't get paralyzed. Unbound 3 has 10% chance to raise the trap resistance by 3 every time the user takes damage from trap till the user is immune to that effect. Cool. Lessen trap 6 and 9. That's nice, I guess. Escape Artist can't get trapped. That's, you know, obviously once you get to the max over there, right? So trap might be a way to go, honestly, because the thing is, like, you can't, since you can't do like a lot of damage straightforwardly, right? Because again, 80% damage reduction even on sync moves. Like Azelf had that, but like not on sync moves. Like you could still like destroy that thing on sync moves, right? But that's like, this one's for sync moves as well. So like trap might honestly just be the way to go, because trap does damage based on the opponent's HP, right? So that could maybe be helpful there. Then Clear-Headed, can't be confused. Lessen Burn 5, 8, and 9. At bar 2, get this passive: Opening Shake-Up. Activate that's typo. Activate Bromberry 8 at the start of the turn. And then has 12 2% chances to activate Tactical Shake-Up. Not 100% sure what this means. I'm just guessing it means there's like 12 rolls on like 2% chance to activate Tactical Shake-Up, which Tactical Shake-Up is just to activate both of these at the same time at start of battle. And then this one, I don't know why it has like a 5% chance of activating this when this already basically has this. Unless they stack, which would be terrible. So, I don't know. Anyways, unnamed passive in data creates a shield, reduce special damage, and allies field for a short time at the start of the battle. I don't think, is it light screen? Unless like this is the field effect they're talking about. So like light screen on top of Brawn and Brain Barrier. That would be terrible, terrible, terrible. Remove all status conditions from the user, including trap, blah, 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 blah. When the user's HP is 50% or lower, that happens with like all of them. That's nothing new. Raise the user's accuracy by 3, and the HP is 50% or lower. Creates a shield reflect status condition for a short time at the start of the battle. Yeah, that's really annoying. That's kind of like Wallace's thing, right? So you can't just just poison gas them. However, I do wonder if it's like Wallace's, or if it reflects like additional effects too, because Wallace's doesn't like if you get poisoned off of like a poison fang, Wallace doesn't reflect that. So maybe if it is like exactly like Wallace's, then maybe you could still like poison it with like stuff like poison fang or stuff, which is your main way of like poisoning them anyways, right? Number 5, crit hit at the start of the battle. Okay, sure hit at the start of the battle. Crit is a shield reflect status condition when the user is 50% or lower. Yeah, if it's the same as Wallace's trainer move, then like that's you don't even have to worry. You could just like poison, like it doesn't affect Poison Fang and stuff. I'm just not sure if the data miner here is correct. Like they could be wrong in that. So we'll see. But again, if it is exactly like Wallace's trainer move, then like honestly, I'm not worried at all. You can just go through that, right? Creates a shield status move defense, block status condition from affecting the allied field of play. At the start of the battle, allied field of play removes all status conditions from the user. At the start of the battle, this is if it's like Marley's, I don't think you could do anything against it, right? If I remember correctly. So yeah, there's that. We just don't know like which like HP bar this is. So like there could be like a HP bar where you just completely just can't poison them, right? Crit when it uses HP is 50% or lower. You see that a lot. Or hit when it's 50% or lower. Gradual heal at the start of battle. Make move gauge accelerate on the allies field of play when HP 50% or lower. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely annoying. A lot of really, really annoying things, right? They reduce your physical and special damage by 50%. It, could reflect status conditions, could block them, all that stuff. Those are all annoying, right? It has Hyper Beam, which hurts. The double team is super annoying with evasion buffs. What else? Oh yeah, the status stuff. Although I don't think this is like a huge deal. Because there's just so many like units that could just cure status now, right? But anyways, as for what we could do against it, right? There are some options, right? A really great one. Like Houndoom could be actually really great. Like if you run something like a Houndoom with Lysander and something like a Xerneas or something, run that comp, what you could do is like Houndoom's Dark Pulse can flinch, right? Obviously the chance not that high, but Lysander's flinch is very, very high if you pick up both for aggravation, so you could use that to flinch. And also with Houndoom, you could also snarl the opponent because there is no special attack debuff mitigation, so you could use that and make sure that they don't do that much damage back to us, right? With snarl. And since you are bringing Xerneas into the fray and you want to sync with Xerneas first, you could actually get to like -6 special attack with Houndoom there. Although you probably don't want to do that. You probably want like 2 turns to like buff your crit. But at least -4 or something, -5 for the opponent's special attack. And then if you pick up overpower on the grid, you obviously extra damage there. From the opponent's special attack debuffs. And then again, right, double striker with Lysander, also the great dark pulses there with flinch and all that. So that could definitely be some a decent option. Mighty also, that's another dark type striker. He's should be fine too, right? Crunch with on a roll decreases opponent's defenses. So even though there is that the physical damage mitigation, you can make up with it a bit with decreasing the opponent's defense, right? So there's that, I guess. Just be careful. Kind of, you don't want to decrease your defenses that much yourself, right? Because it's gonna be a long battle. It's gonna be a long battle either way, right? I guess Lipard. You could do stuff with Lipard, I guess. I don't know. Like, the good thing about Lipard here is you can switch between, like, physical and special. So, depending on what, like, damage reduction they have up at the time, if they don't get that lucky, whatever % chance to get both of them up, you could do some stuff with Lipard, I guess. And you can't get paralyzed. So, if, like, you're tanking with Lipard, which I'm still not a huge fan of tank Lipard, but if you are tanking with Lipard, since it is, like, go viral, it's not like an AoE. Like the effect, like if it effectively is an AOE status condition, however, that's not what it mechanically works. Mechanically, it only targets one unit, and then after that unit gets paralyzed or poison or whatever, it spreads to your whole team. So if your first unit doesn't get paralyzed, right, if it has like Lith and doesn't get paralyzed, your whole team doesn't get paralyzed. Like if you just take that and then like you're good, right? So Grimsley could be a solid tank option, maybe, right? If we're looking at like some other options, units with this, there really aren't that many tanks with it, unfortunately. Yeah, it's basically just these guys. Septile, which is Substrika, Lance, which you probably don't want to use against this because it's not super effective, right? As for some other options, Persian just doesn't do that much damage. I don't know why you would use it. It does have Screech, which is cool, I guess. But then, like, why go for Persian when you could? I guess I guess you could use Persian for like the flinch, right? On bite, which is cool, I guess, because you do have the extra. It's kind of like aggravation, but like when you crit, which is cool, I guess. So it could be used as like a crit unit. Also, Houndoom as well. With if you're giving like some kind of like bite, like flinch build, you could do that as well. Because a lot of people do forget that what Houndoom could actually do here is actually pretty nice. Because with bite, you have both aggravation for extra flinch chance, and you also have toxic chance, 50% chance to poison as well. So if you're not like if you're running Houndoom and you're trying to like, if you don't mega Houndoom, just use Houndoom like as a tech unit with bite aggravation, bite toxic chance, you can actually like do some pretty solid stuff there with both poison and the flinch, right? So Houndoom could be a really versatile unit over here, and obviously you still have Dark Pulse when you want to do some damage when they're flinched, right? Poison, all that. So Houndoom, not a bad option here. Not a bad option. As for some other stuff, obviously, want to do some trap damage, poison. The other obvious option over here is, if I could find her, Seviper, right? Lucy's Seviper. That's something you could go for. Crobat could poison, Weezing could poison, although it's not badly poison. I like badly poison more. But Gyarados is another option that you could bring in. If you want to throw in like a sort of Suicide Squad in there at first, although it does have mitigation at first, so maybe you can. Again, it really depends on when that passive kicks in, right, where you can't status them. And then you could, Gyarados throw it and get them to -6 speed, -6 attack, which it does have some mitigation, right, and -6 special attack, so you could do something like that, or Technidoqueen if you have that Eggmon. Let's see. What other options? All right, as for the getting status option, right, which is obviously very, very annoying, but there are ways around it, right? Everyone got Xerneas right now, and Xerneas can cure statuses for your whole team with the trainer move, so you might want to hold on to your trainer move until they try to status you, and then voila, there you go. And then on Xerneas's Sync Grid, right, you also have Healing Hand, which has 30% chance of removing all status conditions from your team when you use move, and it's a fantastic tank to use as well, right? It could heal all that stuff, although the mitigation from the damage mitigation from the opponent might actually influence how much Xerneas heals, so hopefully it doesn't hurt us that much. But you also do get the +6 special defense, which is really, really nice, because the big damaging move from the opponents like Shadow Ball, Icy Wind, and Hyper Beam, which are all special, right? So +6 special defense would be really nice for that, right? Also, Moonblast on a roll to decrease the opponent's special attack as well. Xerneas is going to be fantastic for this. So that's great. Plus, everyone has Xerneas, right? So that's nice. Let's see, what else? Another option over here could be Misty. Misty and Starmie also has Healing Hand, or whatever it's called. Healthy Hand? Healing Hand? Yeah, that thing. Right, and plus, Starmie also has special defensive buffs, and then gradual heals for your team with, evasion buffs. You can't dodge any of the status stuff, but you dodge a few moves here and there. That's nice. What else? What else? Oh, Milotic's also another option. My recuperation, heal every time you sink, which is cool. You could reflect. You put up your own. You could throw out a Uno reverse card, right? Grand Illusion. They try to status you. Throw that right back at them. Whirlpool to trap the opponent, right? With Poke Trap to increase the trap damage, all that stuff. Recuperation Wall should be a solid option here as well. Let's see, what else do we have? Does Reuniclus have antitoxin? If I remember correctly, yeah, it does have antitoxin. What else has antitoxin? Okay. I guess Runic is probably the best option. If you want an antitoxin sort of tank, you could run Reuniclus maybe. But yeah, that's definitely another option. And just overall, you definitely got a lot of stuff. Again, it does seem difficult, and I get that, right? But you definitely have some stuff. It's not unbeatable, right? It's definitely not unbeatable. There's just so many options you could throw at it that could potentially work out, right? So don't worry too much, folks. Don't worry too much. Again, once that comes out, usually around like 5 hours is when I upload. 6 in the morning. So I definitely will have the video uploaded by then. Hopefully we could crack the code, beat it up. And Comfy's another one. Comfy actually. Comfy should be really good for this if anyone has it, because I know not a lot of people summon on it. But Comfy does have Healing Hand on the grid and Healing Hand on passives. I got 2 Healing Hands, so if you want to get rid of the status, there's a very, very good chance of that happening. Also have Tighten Up, increase your special defenses, all that stuff. Heals, right, with layup, AoE, AoE potion, which is fantastic. Draining Kiss, Master Heal, all that stuff. Coffee should be fantastic here as well. So anyways, again, that's me with this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know, guys, in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video, start our channel for some more of my content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Today at reset, summoning for Pearson Obstagoon. So stay tuned for that. Maybe you can use Pearson Obstagoon here as well. I really see the huge benefit, other than just tanking Hyper Beam. Even though they kind of threw out Pearson Obstagoon for this battle, but it doesn't really do much other than, again, just tanking.